reflect on the importance of, going through meditation and exercise and trying to create some semblance of order, of routine.
Right.
And then we get to this sticky subject called relationships, and whether it's relationships outside the home or in the home. We're now in quarantine, and we're really forced for the first time to be around people in a different way, right? If you're having problems, it's easy to leave for the work for the day and be on with your day and get really distracted with everything you're doing. And then you're coming back home and maybe there's some surface interaction, but now we're kind of forced to go a little deeper.
Right.
And while it's important to build new relationships, which I'd like to explore in a second, or dig deeper into ones that you already have, how do you navigate some of those sticking points where people are feeling just completely stressed out, lost their job, not sure how they're going to pay their bills, even though I know the government's come back with some relief packages. A lot of that really hasn't found its way in the hands of Americans that have to pay bills. And so now their credit ratings looking to get rocked, and who knows if they can afford their mortgage. So all that adds up into even a more stressful situation with maybe relationships that are somewhat fractured. So how can people step back and sort of think about and manage it and create strategies to deal with that and be mindful?
Yeah, I think it's such a, I think I used this quote last time we spoke. I said, for every 1,000 hackings at the leaves of evil, there's one chop at the root. This pandemic has caused a bunch of leaves of stress, of anxiety, right? And focusing on the root is really what makes it easier to kind of fix those leaves. And the reason that that's so important is it's when you tie it to relationships. I mean, I love that we started off with meditation. When we start off with meditation, what happens is we're not worried about the past and we're not worried about the future. Those illusions kind of dissipate a little bit. And again, with exercise, one of the things that's so powerful about exercise is that when you exercise, you're sending more oxygen to your brain, to your body. You're changing your entire physiology, which increases your tolerance levels, right? So as your tolerance levels go up, you become more flexible, you become more resilient, right? So you have those two right there. That's in the tool belt, my meditation and my exercise, which all of a sudden opens up my cognition so that I can work more from my prefrontal cortex, which is my rational mind, versus my limbic system, which is fight or flight all the time, because you have peace. Then you look at the relationships and you say, okay, now that I understand where I'm at and I've honored my space, I can now look to honor and respect and understand the person that I'm with, because it's a new dynamic. And there's going to be chaos at first, and it's going to be hard to understand how to maneuver and communicate with this person. But once you have tended to yourself, you have more of an ability to tend to another person. And imagine if that person too is doing the work mentally and emotionally and physically so that they can tend to you. All of a sudden you have two people that are looking for a solution that are just trying to get the other person to stop doing what's annoying them, right?
Right. So how then, if you're able to achieve that and you're able to become mindful and apply those strategies, yet within the same household, the person that you're dealing with hasn't become more mindful or thoughtful or employing the strategies of exercise and meditation, what do you do in that circumstance where you don't really have a partner to dance with?
Right. No, it's a great point. First thing I say is you have a sheet of paper. On one side, you're going to write everything that you can control. On the other side, you're going to write everything you can't control, right? Same thing we talked about. When you have that, you start to realize that if I spend my time complaining about things that are out of my control, I'm harming myself. You want to tear what you can't control and you want to throw it away, you want to burn it. And then you focus on what you can control. At the end of the day, when I'm working with some of my clients, I tell them, hey, you're in a pressure cooker right now. This pandemic is a pressure cooker. Right. Because now all of a sudden, not only do you have the stresses of work, they are now pressed into your house, and you have childcare, and you have all these issues that are now just pressed into the moment, and you are under high stress. But if we look to nature, nature teaches us some things about stress. When I'm experiencing resistance in the gym, my muscles grow. I have to break down my muscles for them to grow. If I was to be afraid of pain and soreness, then I wouldn't go to the gym. But because I understand the value of it, I engage in exercising. So I'm not afraid of the gym as much as I would be if all I thought that it was a torture chamber. In the same way, when you look at gold, it takes fire to purify gold. For diamond, it takes pressure. In the same way, this is an opportunity for us to collapse under the pressure, or to understand that this is a perfect opportunity for us to evolve despite the circumstances around us in the world, and even those that are in our house. And if we take this internal responsibility to not say he said, she said, if only they did this, then I'd be happy. If we take that responsibility for ourselves, that pressure cooker will have us come out of this as better human beings.